then. Best believe that we clutch. Pure-blooded Israelite, you a heathen dog, you must. We done came too far to turn back and doing nines a must. No longer are we not the people. Lie over, jig up, bootstrap, French up. Best believe that we body. Step to the SEAL team with false doctrine, you can bet your ass and get body. You can catch us out in these streets, you can keep that keyboard karate. Cause we only feel the most high. Who the hell's the Illuminati? What's a phone booth to a bat cave? Yeah, you're ballin', but you still a slave. Cause what ain't crossed your mind yet? How much the white man getting paid? A lion really shouldn't like his cave, but you cool with your oppression. We casting down this hellhole and the scriptures be our weapon. Trying to usher in the Christ. You can call it Armageddon. It's the spirit that quicken the man, trying to rid my flesh all that leaven. On the 6th day he made man, on the 7th day he rested. We the sons of God supposed to rule the earth, it's time for a reset. We out here prophesying, breathing life into these bones. All people out here low don't know what really going on. We came here on ships in Babylon, is not our home. When the Lord cracked the sky, game time, activate. It's a dark day full of torment. Wine pressed his garment. He coming to heal his people. We call it spiritual army. Wickedness got a day with death and no way around that appointment. Israel is the battle axe, now time to swing that gun. Christ be the head honcho, captain tied like a scruncho. Babylon defenseless, armless, poncho. War to that great harlot, who dressed down in that scarlet. Her sins don't reach the heaven, now the next step is that bombing. We cry loud, spare not, yelling come out of her ways. Since the Lord yielded up, the ghost was the start of the last days. While people lost and they need the light to make it out of that maze. This is who we really are, you dead ass, think it's just a phase. Straight shots, no chaser. Been found out you a faker. Ain't nothing it's about the Jew. You took a cruise in 42, stole the land and raped it. Now death the only payment. Telling all people the truth, that while our boots flat to the pavement. How the hell you making the arrangement when your house deemed us sacred? Lifting up her skirt, exposing secrets, naked. We out here prophesying, breathing life into these bones. All people out here low don't know what really going on. We came here on ships in Babylon and not our home. When the Lord cracked the sky, game time, activate, flame on.
What's going on, everybody? This is Ministry Designs back with a...
Hey, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Most High in Christ bless. I hope everybody having a lovely day. I mean, myself, I'm having a lovely day. I want to know, you want to know why I'm having a lovely day? Because when I see folly going on in Israel, you can always go to the scripts and just see what the Lord says. The Lord said that you're going to see this. The Lord said, don't be worried. You're going to see this. The most thing that sticks out to me is when he say that Israel is a rebellious house. God, I know that sticks out to a lot of y'all. Because some of y'all is rebellious too. But we got to understand, like, when I say sheep, I'm not meaning, you're going to be a little sheep. Nah, this is the sheep I'm talking about. Let me go straight to the scriptures, all right? This is the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 27. It says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. So when he says that my sheep hear my voice, they know me and they follow me, right? It's really like you can't keep picking and choosing what you're going to do. You can't pick that, okay, I'm going to keep a full beard, but I'm going to cut my head bald. Remember in James, it says, you break one law, you break them all. We striving to keep them laws. We striving to keep trying and trying and trying. Our mind have to be perfect. Our mind got to say, look, I'm going to do that law. I'm going to try my best. Every time I fall, because he would never say a righteous man falls 7 times but get back up. He would never say that if you're not going to fall. He prophesied that too. So when you see somebody fall, when I see somebody fall, I'm going to have mercy on that person. Why? Why? Just because the Lord said that a just man falls 7 times. These are the type of things that we're missing, that we're not following the Lord. The Lord said, have mercy, and you will obtain mercy. How many of us have mercy on each other? How many? Like, we don't. Because he said, my sheep hear my voice. But if we jump up to 26, right? Verse 26, it says, but ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. You believe not because you're not my sheep. So even because you know the truth, even because you know the Bible, even because you understand some things, where you lacking at that you're not trying to fix? It's a lot of us lacking some stuff that we're not trying to fix. And one of them things, which is crazy, one of them things is forgiving each other. Forgiving each other, not having evil suspicion, like trying to, see the good in that person, even though they did you wrong. Christ said, pray for them. Instead, you talk about them. Christ said, pray for them. Instead, you go behind their back and tell them what they did wrong to somebody else. They got to hear that they did something to you from somebody else. Do that mean you really love that person? You got to ask yourself that. Do that really mean you love that person? If you're going to go to somebody else and tell somebody else, okay, this person did this to me. Okay, so you're not going to tell them? You're not going to tell them, but let me show you how much grace I have and how much mercy I have. I understand, because this is a rebellious house. Because they come in the truth, that don't mean they want to be rebuked. That don't mean that's the first thing they want to do is be rebuked. Some of these people that's in the truth now, some of these people that know the Bible need to hear it from God. They still in Christianity. They still have that mind state. They need to hear it from God. And they still in sin because their God is sometimes men. It's a particular man or a particular sister that need to say something to make you change your mind. No. When anybody coming from and speaking the oracles of God, you should always better listen. Where your ears at? Put your ears on. But it seems like you want to take your ears off when somebody lower than you say, look, you're doing wrong. Man, I've been in this truth for like 25 years, man. Dang, and you still wicked. So let's get right into it though. Let's go to Romans chapter 12. That talk, I had to warm myself up because I didn't do this in a long time. Romans chapter 12 and verse 17. It says, recompense to no man evil for evil. Dang. Did you just hear what he said? He said, recompense no man evil for evil. Raise your hand if you know how many people that's around you, including yourself, that can't let things go. That can't just seem like, even if you trying to stay righteous, you trying to what you trying to do? You trying to swindle. You trying to find a loophole. Well, I mean, I don't hate her. I don't hate him or her, but I don't have to talk to him. Huh? Wait, come again? What'd you say? Oh, yeah. I don't have to talk to him. Or I could put him at the lower level, shalom and ba. Say that again. How many people that you shalom and bye to that you have nothing against? You have nothing against them. So why you got to put this person on a certain level to say shalom and bye? That means it has a spirit behind it. That means you're recompensing evil again. Back to them. Let's move on. It says, provide things honest in the sight of all men. If you say you forgive, forgive. Show that you forgive. But it becomes honest when your mind forgive. You sitting here putting on a facade, and that's it. Like you only do things that everybody can see. Like you say shalom to a person when everybody's around. But when nobody around, you walk right past them. Are you being honest before men? Because if you can't do it without the men standing there, that means you're not being honest. Read on. Let me read on. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peacefully with all men. I mean, you got to live peacefully with all men. But it says, but the Bible also says that peace don't come to the wicked. So if you realizing that something is always in back of your head about this person, if you see them on Facebook, they write something and you be like, oh, get the hell out of here. This person could say, women, cover your heads. Oh, she bugging. She need to look at her own self. What that got to do anything? She could be saying something righteous, or he could be saying something righteous, but you still had that animosity towards that person, towards that person, that you still like, I don't like what they're saying. They're a hypocrite. Why do you think of that person like that? But my thing is if you had mercy and if you understood Christ, if you understood him, you will understand that it's powers, principalities, high places, evil, darkness that is clouding and tap dancing on people's minds. You will understand that. By you thinking that this person is just doing what he want to do and not having spirits on them, you're not showing the power that the Most High have. You're not showing the power. You're not saying that the Most High sent out Satan and his angels. You're not saying that. Because when it comes to you, you want mercy. Oh, a just man falls 7 times. But when it's somebody else, a wicked man always want to be justified. See, it's on both sides. It's on both sides. Somebody that do wrong to you, you have to forgive them over and over again. Over and over again. Because I can't tell you how many laws in here that I was doing wrong. Shoot, when me and my wife first came in the truth, we was microwaving on the Sabbath. I was warming up food and everything. Oh, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't cooking. But I ain't understand the law. But I tell you right now, if somebody beat me down and was like, yo, what the hell you doing? Boom, 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 this and that. I'm just getting in the truth. I still got an attitude. What you mean, bruh? Who you talking to? Now, I'm going to heat up everything. I'm going to come to your house and heat up on the Sabbath. But nah, you had to have somebody that show that love. Like, look, bro, right here, you shouldn't warm things up. It's just the level of your faith. Also, like, you got to understand that don't have no warm food on the Sabbath. It's how you bring it to a person. Don't think just rebuking a person is doing what the Lord says. Don't just think that. Every commandment that come here is a spirit coming off of it. Every commandment. It's a spirit that comes off of it. You can't just look at the commandment and say, okay, that's what I'm going to do. No, you got to have that mind state too. You got to hate that stuff. So when the Lord say go rebuke, do that mean you just say, hey, you just rebuke your way? Nah, you got to rebuke in especially in mercy, especially if the person is in the truth and out the truth, in the truth and out the truth, not even especially, it's just in the truth and out the truth. You have to come with meekness. Don't act like you know it all. Don't act like you the only one that's doing it right. Don't act like that. Because the Lord could take your candlestick just how wicked birthdays is, he could just like that. Just like that. Right? Let me read on. Verse 19. Dearly beloved, vengeance not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. Dang. But he said, my sheep hear my voice. But a lot of y'all want to do things yourselves. Can y'all leave it up to God? Can y'all say, okay, God gonna take care of this? You sisters out there. Let's think about you sisters. Not even sisters versus sisters. Sisters that's married. Sisters that's married. Let's go out. Say your man doing things that you just can't. You know, you came from the world and you paid all the bills. You felt like we need to always hold money. We can't do all this extra stuff. But your husband come and say, look, I gotta pay so and so for arms, or when the brothers go out to the street, we need signs. Pay so and so for signs. I want to pay for all the signs, $300. I want to pay for all that. You like, well, we got a bill here. It need to be paid. We got a bill here. But he like, nah, I need to pay this. What should you do? Should you argue? Should you try to change the bank account passwords? I'm talking to you sisters. What should you do? What actually should you do? Because at the end of the day, okay, we know the man runs their household. You got to understand that the Lord puts spirits on at any given time, that a man can change up just like that. They can just change up. So now what should you do? You should pray. Take it to the Lord. Take it to the Lord. Because listen, if your man not listening, women get that. Tap dancing, the Lord the devil tap dance on your head. Oh, he not listening, boom, boom, boom. Then you start getting out of order. You start getting out of order because things is not happening your way. Because in the world, it taught you happy wife, happy life. But who do that belong to? That belongs to the Lord. But you got to realize that the Lord testing you at the same time. The Lord giving you that test. But his sheep hear his voice. His sheep know, okay, you see that he changed up on you? Dang. All right, so how we going to pay these bills? He the head of the house? Okay. I'm going to just go pray to the Lord. Lord, just get us out of this, That's what you need to do. Same thing with men. Same thing with men, because it's men that's in the truth that have women outside of the truth. Meaning that they came in the truth and a woman didn't receive it yet. Their wife didn't receive it yet. But are you just going to get up? Get up. Nah, you got to pray for them. Have mercy, pray for them. What are you missing? Because in what's that? 1 Corinthians 7, it says, ye men with wives, you need to work like you have none. So you good for right now, but you keep praying for your wife until she does something that's blaspheming the Lord or fornicate on you. I mean, you need to have mercy. You trying to get the kingdom now. It's nothing else you trying to get in this world. You trying to get the kingdom now. Everything should be towards the kingdom. So now, when you pray for them, you got to give it up to the Most High. But do you do that? So you got to ask yourself, are you the sheep or are you the goat? You got to ask yourself that. Let me read on. Therefore, if thy enemies hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Dang. Do you realize that some people do things and come back to you? Some people could do things to make you mad, and then they come back to you. They actually come back to you because they want to see if you that righteous person. Some people will do something that they know they offended you, but then they'll come and ask you for water. That's your test. You think that person came up with that test? The man's goings is of the Lord. Who can understand? That person didn't come up with that test. It's all the Lord. But some of you grudge, but some of you just think it's talking about hunger and thirst. Because it says, blessed is he that is hunger and that's hungry and thirsty off of righteousness. They could be coming to you for knowledge. Would you give it? Would you give the correct knowledge? Would you care to? Because sometimes you can give the knowledge, but then your mind state is like, that whole time you reading the scripture, you like, I hope this get out of my house. This whole time. Are you righteous? No. And it says, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. So it's like, don't let evil overcome you. Don't let that what somebody else did overcome you and now you're evil too. But it says, but overcome evil with good. That's how you overcome evil with good. If you give somebody water, or if you give somebody drink, or if you give them righteous counsel, or if you give them whatever in a true mind, a meek mind, a pure heart, if you do that, they will be mad. They'll be madder, which I say big mad. They'll be madder. But we got to get out our own way. It's not about us no more. Remember, it's he that saveth his life loses it. He that loses his life, save it. You got to get out of your way. It's not about you no more. If you emotional in this truth, you having a hard time. Because the devil can play with your emotions all the time. The devil play with your emotions all the time. That's why Christ said this. Hold on, let's go to Sirach. Sirach 3. Sirach 3 and 24. It says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinions. God. Many are deceived by their own vain opinions. Where you get this opinion from? From your mind. Let me read on. And an evil suspicion has overthrown their judgment. Yo, no matter what, most of our people, when they think of somebody else, it's always evil. Oh, they didn't show up when I invited them. They must don't like me. Well, dang. Maybe they stuck in the house. Maybe their car broke down and they called somebody else and not you. But you got that evil suspicion. What is the problem? Because Christ said, my sheep hear my voice. He said, make your mind no evil thoughts. No evil thoughts. And right here, it just said, it just showed you. Many are deceived by their own vain opinion. Why? Why are we deceived by our own vain opinion? Why? We have evil thoughts to everything. Our suspicion is always evil. Did you ever say, let me call this person because they probably got stuck somewhere? Because I got some jumping cables that I can help them. They probably just don't want to call me because they think that I'm hosting this party. So they probably think that I don't want to come out the house. So let me call them and show them that I will come out the house. I will keep everybody in the house. These Israelites, I trust them. They can be in my house alone. I come get you, or I get somebody to come get you. But you can make it. But no, instead, the first thing we think of is that this person don't like me. Oh, they'll go over so-and-so house, but they won't come over our house. They this and they that, but they don't do this and that. Some things people can't tell you. Some things people just can't tell you. It just don't fit like that. It don't come around your way to be told. But at the end of the day, I know some of y'all witness where it takes probably months before y'all hear the truth of what happened months ago. And y'all like, oh, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think you was doing that. I tell you the truth. I didn't think. Now you got to repent. But then again, some of y'all don't want to repent. Some of y'all ain't going to be like, bro, I just thought that you was wilding on me. My bad, man. I ain't think that you really had to, find a babysitter and you couldn't find one. Dang, my bad. Nah, you're going to be like, oh, that was the reason why? Oh, yeah, okay, now I see, all right. But, because I was wondering where you was at. I was wondering. Get out of here. Get out of here. Your mind had evil all written over it. But what do that show? Let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs 20 and 5. Let's go to Proverbs 20 and 5. Because it's funny. Elder just brought this out. And this just hit right on, right? It says, counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. So it took me a minute to think about what that mean and put in situations to that. Think of the flood, right? The flood in Genesis with Noah. And I like how Elder bring it out too. But it was more like, who survived? Did anybody outside of that ark survive? How can you survive? How can they survive that flood? It was only one way you can survive that flood, with understanding that the Most High was about to do this thing. Wisdom. Seeking. Right? The only way. But it says the deep water is the heart of man. Because every time you think of something, every time you think of anything, it goes into evil thoughts. That's that flood. That's that water that's drifting you away from the laws of God. That's drifting you away from being a sheep and going into a goat. That's the thing. That's the deep water. You start taking counsel in your own heart. In your own heart. But you don't realize that your heart is taking counsel of itself. You just in the water. But a man of understanding will draw it out. A man of understanding will grab a branch and say, nah, he didn't come because. He didn't come because, hey, maybe he didn't come because he had something to do. A sister will grab a branch and say, no. I'm not going to think that of my sister because she have kids and she has a husband. I'm not going to think, my married sisters is not going to think that of the single sisters because the single sisters have their own battle where they got to stay in this fight for Christ. Where they see other women have their husbands, but they have to make sure that they're proving a friend. They can't just jump in any type of relationship. They got to go through all this. They got to go alone with a heater. They got to do this. Even my single brothers and married brothers, respect of each other. You will understand when you in that flood, in your heart, in your mind. You will understand when you're in that flood, you need to get out of that thing. Where do you grab your wisdom from? Where's that branch? This is that branch. This is that branch that you need to grab. But if you don't have no understanding, you just gonna go away. You're just gonna go away. It's nothing that you can say after that. If you not studying to show yourself approved, you will be going with the flood. You will not be on that ark. You will be going with the flood. That's them goats. That's them goats. Honestly, that's them goats. We got to strive more, people. We got to strive more, brothers and sisters, for real. Because Israel have a thing of hatred in there. We come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, but the malice and the hatred for each other is kind of still there. Some of us still have that. And the ones that have it, that comes in having that hatred, is of the devil. But what happens is the devil try to grab people. He's trying to recruit. So that's why it says, render not evil for evil. Don't let evil overcome you, because once evil overcome you, you became a goat. So you got to understand that the devil is actually recruiting goats in the truth. When you have that evil thought, just know that that evil thought, just understand that you're starting to become a goat. You're starting to go in that flood. You're starting to get lost. Once you hit that waterfall, it's over. Once you go down, it's over. Because in that flood, understand, in that flood, that's where, before the waterfall come, that's where a just man falls 7 times. Because you grab a branch and you can fall. This water ain't, listen, this water is powerful. It didn't leave nobody but 8 people. This flood is powerful. It's no way you can get through without the Most High God and his son Christ. No way. But are you going to let it drift you away? You got to ask yourself that, right? You got to ask yourself that. Or one way of not doing it. One way of not doing it. Let's just go back to Sirach. Let me just read this real quick. Sirach 5:2. Follow not thy own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. But I just read that the heart. I just read that the heart is like a deep water. Just read that. So more like to walk in the ways of the heart is more like swimming in the ways of the heart, drowning in the ways of the heart. That's our big deal. We don't know. I said in the song that let me see. It was I'm sorry. But I know what I said. But I said in the song that we gotta swim. We can't just float. But it's funny how we're drowning and we don't even know. That's funny to me. You don't realize we're the walking dead. You don't realize that this is a similar to all this around us. Christianity, the liquor stores, the weed man, right? Buddha, all these things around us is just a similitude of a flood. God. It's the similitude of a flood. But you want to add more by showing envy, by showing hatred towards a brother or sister that's in this walk with you. That's the same as you saying, why are our people robbing the same people that live by them in the same conditions? So who's the hypocrite now? Don't go out to them streets telling them people that they don't need to rob each other because they in the same conditions when you sitting here hating your brother or hating your sister and they in the same conditions. They're fighting the same battles. Where's your mercy? See, y'all gonna understand in this class, the sheep have mercy. Man, I'm not gonna go to the story, but we know in Matthew's where what happened with the servant, where the servant owed the king money, and the king gave mercy to the servant. But when the servant seen a fellow servant that owed him money, he said, "No, I need my money now, or I'm gonna throw you in the trenches." What happened to him? King came back and said, "You know what? I want my money that you owe me now. How I'm going to show you mercy, but you're not going to show them mercy." That's how deep. That's why we got these commandments, because we don't understand Christ. Christ gave us mercy, but we don't want to give mercy to nobody. Christ gave us mercy, but we don't want to give mercy, just a little mercy to our own husband or our own wives. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of mercy. And I'm not talking about just go ahead and start letting them sin and do all. No, I'm talking about rebuking them on a mercy level. When it comes to rebuke, you just rebuke like the bruhs. Rebuke them, okay? Rebuke them. Because it says, "Blessed is he that's not offended in me." Okay. Go ahead, rebuke them. But you got to understand on certain levels, on certain levels, you got to get your list up of how to rebuke. Okay, I seen this spirit before. Let me go and rebuke this way. Oh, okay. Now, he got this spirit. Okay, let me go. You got to be multitasking here. You can't just have that one rebuke. This is like rapping on a track. When you rap on a track, you got to have different vocals for different beats. You have to have a different flow for different beats. You can't do the same thing on every beat. So that the beat is just like people, just like your brothers and sisters. You have to have a different flow for everyone. The Lord puts it so beautifully. But it says that don't walk in the way of your heart. Why? Jeremiah. Everybody know this scripture. I shouldn't even read it, but just to let it flow in the air. Just to let it get in the air. 17 and verse 9, I believe. Yep, 17 and 9. Let me just say it. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Dang. That flood is deceitful of all things. That flood is deceitful. Everything. I know y'all seen the Matrix. Y'all seen the Matrix? When Neo, I think it was Neo, whatever. I didn't see it in a long time. But he realized that everything was an illusion. Everything was wicked. Everything wasn't real. But you have that one Judas that said, I don't care. I would rather die on this side rich than on the other side. I'd rather store treasure here than up in heaven. There's a lot of Judases out there. But understand that when you hate your brother and your sister, or when you have some type of envy or strife against them, it says that he that hateth his brother is also a murderer. So you doing a high bid right there. You're doing a high bid. That's why Christ said that love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul, and love thy neighbor as I love that as thy love thyself. That hang all the laws and the prophets. It hangs all of it. Because no matter what, that's what you need to do in this truth. We in the race for love. Who can love their brother and their sister more? Who can love them the most? Who can lose thy money for their brother or their sister? Who can? Who can forgive? Who can do that? We got to understand, y'all, that this is not a game. This is not a game you can restart after you lose. We seen brother after brother, sister after sister, candlestick go out just because things like this. Trying to prove that somebody else is wrong. You're trying to prove that somebody else is wrong and you want judgment on that other person, but the leader or whatever didn't give judgment how you wanted it. So you went overboard to get this judgment and you wind up falling off a cliff. You was blowing so long that you wind up blowing out your own candlestick. Because when y'all do that, when y'all have envy and stuff and y'all talk about I'm praying for those that hate me and stuff like that, when some of them don't even hate you, some of y'all just write that stuff on Facebook. Oh, I pray for those that hate me, this and that. Because in your mind, you're in that deep water and your mind is deceitful, taking counsel in your own heart. And your mind is telling you somebody out there hates you. Somebody out there want to be you. Somebody didn't invite you because they want to be you. Stop it. Stop taking counsel in your own heart. You have to say no more. All right, I'm almost done. Let's read on, because I just want to. Let's go to Matthew chapter 8. This is my wife's favorite chapter, because she always asking understanding in something. Because one thing about it is, you have to understand that emotions, it's not going to get you the kingdom. Being emotional is carnal minded. It's carnal minded. If you go by statutes, if you go by laws and this and that, think about if the elders was emotional, nobody would get judged. I'm talking about the elders in the Bible. Moses. When Moses, what if he was emotional? God said, judge him. Remember, they had to slice off their own brethren's heads. What if he was emotional? What if they was emotional? Dang. Whew. All right. Romans chapter 8 and start at 6. For to be carnal minded is death. Point blank. Carnal minded is being flesh-like. Carnal minded is saying, I'm going to whoop that trick, when your spirit says, no, forgive that trick. That's carnal minded. Carnal minded is going with your flesh, going with worldly things. That's carnal minded. All right. It says, but to be spiritual minded is life and peace. One of them steps of being spiritual minded, you understand that Christ deals with everything. The Most High has everything. Christ send it up. Most High, whatever. But for us, we give it to Christ. Because he said, that's what he said in Matthew 11. Come to me and you will have rest. You will have rest. I was talking to the brothers on Sabbath, and they brought out something special. But they brought out something special. Like, say if you just bought something real expensive and you had to sit it outside. Say your car. You bought a car, it's real expensive, but you live in a bad neighborhood. What you gonna keep doing? Going to the window. And you hear a car alarm from blocks. You going to the window. You going to see what's going on. You going to see if your car's still there. Are you having rest? You stressing yourself out. You got a car out there, you scared that it's going to be taken and everything. But if you think in your mind and say, you know what? If this car get taken, Christ wanted it gone. Maybe I didn't need it. Maybe it'd get me in a car accident. Maybe I'll be going too fast. Maybe I get in trouble with the cops and I can't handle myself in front of the cops. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't have this on me. Maybe I shouldn't have a car like that. Maybe because I got a wife and it'll lead me into fornication. Maybe I shouldn't do that. So maybe Christ just took it from me. Just take it. Get on out of here. You will have rest, because now you're not looking over your car no more. You're not looking over your car when you understand Christ. When you understand that he takes away whatever he want to take away, he will take it away in front of your face. I remember I had a Passat, a Volkswagen. I got kicked out of my mother's house, so I went to my brother's house. He lived straight in the hood. Well, I lived in the hood too, but this was more different. One-way blocks? Nah. But parking on there, I looked up every second at that car. Every second at that car. I just dozed off a little bit. My brother ran in the house. Man, I thought you was gone. Where your car at? And me, I'm thinking that I had everything on me. I'm like, yo, I dare somebody to get in my car and do something with my car. It's going to be flashing lights behind him. I ain't care. But Christ said, you're not going to even catch him. He said, go to sleep. Sit down. Go to sleep. Hey, run in there and tell him that his car gone. It's nothing you can do. But you will have rest. You will have rest. Okay? Let me get back to it. That's that peace in that life. That's that peace in that life, right? Verse 7, it says, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. That's telling you right there that your flesh hates God. Your flesh is an enemy unto God. It's not subject to the law, and it cannot be. It will not be. Before you got into that fornication mode and you slept with a woman, what happened? Your body gets aroused. God. Did you realize? But in your mind, you know the laws. You know that you shouldn't be doing this. You know that's something you should not be doing. But you do it anyway. Why? Because the flesh is against the spirit. The flesh don't want, like, it feels, for you smokers out there, it feels good to smoke. Why? Because you're satisfying your flesh. You're satisfying your flesh. That's why. When you eat unhealthy, which you can eat unhealthy, it don't matter. But when you want to get into a mode of being healthy, when you want to exercise and when you want to do things, you realize your body don't want to do that. That's why it hurts so much for your body to get in shape. That's why it hurts so much for you to eat healthy. Well, yeah, eat healthy. Because your body don't want to do that. Your body is not, it's not for you, it's against you. Because you are the Spirit of God. You have the Spirit of God. The kingdom lies within you. But your body, your flesh, want to remind you that you've been with it for how long? I've been in this truth for 6 years almost. That's nothing compared to, it's nothing compared to 26 years that you've been in wickedness. So I'm a -6. No, I'm a -20 years. A -20 years that I'm in this truth. Once I get 20 years in this truth, I'm zero. I'm zero. Because it's time. You got to purge them years away. That's why I said don't think so highly of yourself. Have mercy. Don't think so highly of yourself. Right? So it's enmity unto God. It's an enemy unto God. Your body won't listen to God. So it's no reason why you think we fast. Why do you think we fast? We fast because your body says that it needs bread and water. But what did Christ say? His sheep hears his voice. What did Christ say? Christ said that bread alone don't feed a man. Bread alone don't fill a man. You're not going to need bread alone. But every word from this Bible, his voice, you need that. And if you were a sheep, you will understand that. Better yet, if you believed, you will understood that. See, the faith levels is crazy. The faith levels is crazy because when you actually understand things that going on in this Bible, like let me tell you, Deuteronomy 28, the curses. When you first hear these curses, it puts everybody on their level of faith. On their level of faith. It's some people that hears this Bible and hear Deuteronomy and they like, oh, but it don't make them do the laws. So their faith is, I believe in it, but I don't believe in it. Then you got others that hear the curses and they like, oh, okay. And they do the laws. But when they start hitting them little, because we know these parables. We definitely know these parables. Mark 7. Wait, Mark 4. We know these parables, right? The ones that, the seed that hit the stony ground, the ones by the wayside, right? So when the Deuteronomy come out, you can have that person like, oh, but then the world chokes them out. Oh, nah, I can't leave that weed, though. I can't leave that weed money. Nah. Can't leave my women. I can't stop being a whoremonger. There's nothing that I can do. A lot of you pastors, man, can't leave that pork, man. Y'all gotta leave that, man. Y'all gotta leave that alone, man. That's not the other white meat. Sorry. Right? But you hear it and then it gets you away. But then it's some that hear Deuteronomy and be like, yo, these are my forefathers. What? We Israelites? I'm changing my name. My name is Asherallah bin Judah Bat. That's what happens. People become different faith levels where they search out the Lord now. They like, oh, wait, hold up. We came here on ships? And my ancestors came here on ships? Oh, this is me. Let me see what the rest of this book have to say. Then you start believing you start believing Daniel, that he prayed no matter what, even in captivity. You start believing the three holy children when they went through that fire, that they came out the fire. It's some people that in this truth that cold-heartedly don't believe that the holy children got out of a fire. They're going to be like, they went into a fire and got out. Come on now. But it's your faith level. But that's why it's up to everybody that have that faith level to have mercy on those that don't. Because I don't care how much your faith is, you do not have the same faith of Job. You do not, and you did not prove yet that you had the same faith of Daniel or the three holy children. You sisters, you can't prove. Some of you probably could prove, but who are you acting like what about Tobit's wife? When Tobit became blind and she had to go out there and put in that work. And she still didn't get out of order when he sat there and accused her of stealing a kid. An animal. But a kid. Which one? So that further brings me back to Deuteronomy didn't bring your level high so you could love your brother and your sister. Didn't bring you that high. Your faith level is still like right here where you feel like my pride is still in the way. But pride is the beginning of sin. But you like, my pride's still in the way. Forget that. Shoot, how much mercy that somebody had for somebody, you got to be kidding me. The Lord had all the mercy. Man, what if Christ was emotional when he was about to get crucified? What if he was emotional? What would have happened? Y'all think about that. Ponder on that. All right. Where I'm at. Verse 8. I'm at verse 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. We just went over that. You cannot please God in the flesh at all. Your flesh do not like God. God don't like your flesh. Verse 9. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. You're not in the flesh. You in the spirit. When you read this Bible, you can't read it fleshly. Because in 1 Corinthians 2:15, it says that the natural man will not understand or be able to discern in the spirit. So these spiritual things, you're not going to understand. You're not going to understand the fire that the three holy children was walking through. Is every situation that you go through that you in battle. You're walking through a fire. And you don't realize that Christ is in the midst of it. Your bills can't get paid. You, nah, you in that fire. Calm down. Christ is in the midst. Your house get broken into. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Calm down. Christ is in the mix. All of them is fires. Those are fires. What about in Deuteronomy? When he said to our forefathers that I put y'all through this wilderness for 40 years so I can prove you. I can try you. You're in the wilderness. You're getting tried like gold. What happens with gold? My bro just brung it out. Just a few on his class. I shared it on my page. He just brung it out. What happened with gold? What actually happened with gold? I think I'm back. I think it just disconnected on me. Let me see. Anyway, what happened with gold? It goes through the fire. It get melted down. It takes out all the dirt and impurities and everything in it. That's what have to happen to you. You have to be to your lowest state. That's why it says, be cheerful when you turn it to your lowest state. Right? So you're in the spirit. It says, if so, be that the Spirit of God dwells in you. Now, if a man has not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his. He is not a sheep. If you're walking in the Spirit, you're not if you're walking in the flesh, you're not a spirit. You're not a sheep. I'm sorry. You're not. All right? And it says, and if Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin. But the spirit is life because of righteousness. The body is dead because of sin. The body is dead because of sin. That means that the body cannot get out of sin. That's why the body do not belong. The body, the Most High don't care about the body. The body is going to always be like, okay, I got to do this. That means you're going to have a constant battle in your life. You're going to always have a battle in your life, constant battle in your life. All right? And it says that the spirit is life because of righteousness. The spirit is life because of righteousness. You give your spirit life. You kill the spirit when you let the flesh lead. The spirit is behind. Nobody sees your spirit when you let the flesh lead. Nobody sees that. But when you kill the flesh and let the spirit lead, it has life because of righteousness. You're doing righteousness. You're bringing life to your spirit. All right? Final scripture, y'all. Man, I love talking, man. I love edifying our people, and not just our people outside the truth and the truth, man, because it's so much to say, and it's like, just shut up. All right. All right. So, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 31. It says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all his angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations. And I'm going to leave that alone. Israel. Okay. And he shall spread them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. Woo! And he shall set the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. So understand that you don't have to have the world at this time. You don't have. He said, love not within the world, but when that kingdom come, you love everything. You're gonna love everything Kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. When it comes on earth, you will love everything, but you have to be a sheep on this side of the fire. You have to be a sheep on this side of the fire. Do not be like the other ones in their mind, in their heart, with that flood that was drifted away and did not want to get on the ark, did not want to take the wisdom and the understanding of God, and did not want to do what he asks. Okay? Verse 35. For I was hungry, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when sought we thou and hunger, and fed thee, or thirst, and gave thee drink? When saw we then a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Or when saw we sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, and as much as ye have done to and as much as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. That's when it says that you never know when you're entertaining angels. You never know. Christ is for brethren. He's that's why we split. The kingdom split over envy. So what do you think he's trying to get back here? Brotherly love, Israelite love. He's trying to get brothers loving brothers, sisters loving sisters the way he is bringing it out. He's in these people. He's finding out fault in people that's not giving or forgiving. He already said that if you don't forgive your brother, the Lord, the Most High, will not forgive you. If you don't profess him before man, he won't profess you before the Most High. And how do you profess him? How do you get him out? By doing what he said, following him, being his sheep. But you can't if you have envy and you're not being honest before all men. So that was the sheep. So you want to be the sheep. You want to give. You want to give honesty to all. You want to give mercy, grace. You want to give to all. You want to understand that evil suspicion is just a delusion that Satan puts on you so you cannot get the kingdom. You have to understand that flood in your mind is a representation of the flood with Noah. But it's up to you if you're going to get on that ark and grab a branch, or if you're just going to float away and have your candlestick taken out. And when your candlestick is taken out, verse 41, then shall he say also unto them on the left side, the goats, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. So just know when you become that goat, you will be prepared for the devil and his angels. So just remember, when you get into that flood and you become that goat, you drop down and you fall. A just man falls 7 times. You fall. Just know that you got to prepare yourself for the devil and his angels. Things gonna start coming at you. Oh, this person don't like me. That person don't like me. I don't like this brother because he don't shalom me when he walk past. Well, you shalom him. And if he don't shalom you back, Matthew 18 him. Hey, look, man, Scripture says shalom. Hey, you got a problem with me, man? I just want to know. If you do, we can get through this. But you always, that's how you make peace with the Most High. You make peace with the Most High by making peace with his children. What you think Esau did? He didn't like the Most High, so he didn't like his people. If they can't touch the Most High, they will touch his people. If you want to love the Most High, love his people. Right? And I'm going to end it off like this with 1 John. I was going to end it off, but I just thought of this when I just said it. So, 1 John chapter 5 and verse 2. It says, by this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and we keep his commandments. So make sure that anything you do, you love God and you keep his commandments, because his commandments say, love your neighbor as you love yourself. All praises, y'all. Most High in Christ bless. And Lord's will, I'll see y'all again, man. Shalom.
Game time, locked in. Best believe that we clutch. Pure blooded Israelite, you a heathen dog, you must. We done came too far to turn back and doing nines a must. No longer are we not the people. Lie over, jig up, bootstrap, French stuff. Best believe that we body. Step to the SEAL team with false doctrine, you can bet your ass and get body. You can catch us out in these streets, you can keep that keyboard karate. Cause we only feel the Most High. Who the hell's Illuminati? What's the phone booth to a bat cave? Yeah, you're ballin', but you still a slave. Cause what ain't crossed your mind yet? How much the white man getting paid? A lion really shouldn't like his cave, but you cool with your oppression. We casting down this hell hole, and the scriptures be our weapon. Tryna usher.